Have you ever wondered how some artists can get such great detail with just a single color? Well, in the spirit of Inktober, we're going to talk about value and how different artists achieve wide amounts of value with only black. Before dipping into the video, value is the lightness and darkness of a color in an artwork. If we're using black, this means we should start with our darkest value, right? No. For the most part, we should be working from light to dark, so that we can make an area darker rather than lighter. Value is also referred to as tone, which I will say a lot in this video. First, we have brush ink. This type of art is similar to watercolors, but uses mainly India ink. Dipping the brush into the inkwell will get our darkest value. To get any lighter, you need to dip it in water. This allows us to get our different tones, black being our darkest tone, while the white of the paper is our lightest tone. The values between them are called a midtone. This allows me to layer on the darker tones as I go on, which is why you should be working the same, especially when using permanent ink. The process is very messy, but many artists can create various beautiful and even creepy imagery. Spooky. Next, we have calligraphy. Unlike the brushes, we use line weight, where we depict what part of the drawing is in shadow or light by how hard we press down the pen. Thicker lines for darker areas, and thinner for lighter. A lot of comic strips use these kinds of ink either with more colors or just in black and white. Lastly, there is hatching. You get different tones the more lines you have and the closer they are to each other. Artists can use these to create more of a 3D shape for their drawing. This style is great for making more realistic work and gives a very vintage vibe to the final art piece. It takes a lot of time, but as long as you stay consistent of the direction of your lines, then it'll turn out just fine. I want you to try to create something for Inktober. Using one of the methods from this video, I want you to try and create something for Inktober. Here are some decent alternatives to some of the methods we used. For hatching, it's very simple. Using a small ballpoint pen from your book bag, purse, or even your creasing pen jar could be just enough. For calligraphy inking, the best alternative is to use a regular Sharpie, where the tip of it is your thinnest line and the broad side is the thickest line. Here I'm just using a gray Sharpie because I don't have a black one. For brush inking, it's a little bit more difficult. Since a lot of us may not have an inkwell, you might get by using a watercolor palette. Watercolors work the same way as ink does. This, along with the other alternatives I just mentioned, are perfect for starting your Inktober drawing. Now, you can draw something scary like skeletons or witches, something cartoony like Charlie Brown or even your own character, or if you just need a little boost in creativity, here's the prompt list from the official Inktober Instagram page. Just remember, when drawing, always have a plan before you go in, and don't stress on being as good as the artist seen today. Good practice is the only way we can improve our skills, whether in art or in life. Now, let's get drawing.